there's a person or an energy around you that's like kind of agitating, that I think is serving as, or you might be interpreting as like a monitoring spirit, monitoring energy in some way, or it's just something that's generally untrustworthy, but it seems, I guess, harmless. Like when it's first appearing, you know, the otter is very playful energy. There's a connection to the mother here. So there's something about this person's energy that almost feels like maybe unassuming, but we also have the fish and the crocodile and the turtles. So all water element here, and all very shape-shifty, all very, like the fish is all about shape-shifty, you know, the turtle is literally a shapeshifter, you know, the fish, I think about Pisces, which takes the form of its chosen vessel, right? Whenever I get that fish card. And so the thing with the fish is that it gets swept away in the current, right? So maybe there's an influence that this person is operating under. And then the crocodile is this kind of like low hanging, like observing type of more mischievous energy. We also have the King of Swords and the Three of Swords. So yeah, in the moon. So I feel like this person, and is that the Magician? It is. I feel like this person is very intentionally planting certain, yep, and the Ace of Swords under the moon. I feel like this person is intentionally planting maybe traps, or so Eight of Pentacles here with the Ten of Cups and the Sun and the King of Cups here. Okay, so I feel like this person is very intentionally placing facades, traps, is how it initially came out, in order to create, or a facade is what they're looking to create, right? A wisdom, as I'm talking about a facade. Hang on. Okay, so they're operating under that facade in order to continue getting towards, you know, getting on the path of or achieving their goal, this Ten of Cups. And I think that this person is well intended. The card that I pulled here is Healing Wounds. Wisdom came out again, and then I do have Independence on the split. So it's kind of showing me this idea that this person does have good intentions, but they're still operating from a place that says something else, you know. Maybe it's not that it's dishonest. It's not that it's dishonest. I think that they don't know any better. I think that they don't know any better. I think that this is kind of how they, okay, so upheaval coming out here. I think that this is how they know how to handle certain challenges. Loyalty. And I did say that there's some influence over this person's actions, so that makes sense. Let's get a couple of these. This doesn't feel, is this it? Yes or no? Okay, we're gonna go here. I might pull from the archetypes deck. I just want to know more about this person to give you more clarity on who they are, or what their intentions are, or what they're kind of creating in your life. Maybe how to operate around them. Okay, yeah, so we have test here. Test and boundary. I don't like it because it's this setting people up for failure type of energy where it's like, okay, so like test, like literally test and boundary. It's like, are you going to uphold your boundaries? Do you have boundaries? Like there's not really any respect for I just don't like energies like this. It's mischievous. Surrender. Surrender with patience at the bottom of the deck. This is how you handle it, right? Because this person is operating from a wounded place. Obviously, we do have healing wounds here. So it's like, this is how they know how to handle certain situations in their life. You know, they just kind of become maybe a little bit domineering is the word that comes to mind, but maybe that's not the best word. It's more so like intimidating or control. There's like a control element here of like setting things up, right? And that's also why the fish kind of serves them, because it gives them the ability to shift and move into what serves them best. It's very self-interested. And so the only way that you can really get through this, humility, as I'm saying that, the only way that you can really get through this is by trusting the process. We have trigger here, trusting the process, that this person is showing you something, and it doesn't have to be intimidating, right? Whenever we run into people like this, we can understand, it's easy to say what I'm about to say. It's very difficult, very different process to actually do it. So just understand that I understand that. But when we're faced with people like this, we do have to acknowledge that they're made insecure by you, right? Like, you are in some capacity like a threat to them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be planting all of these tests. They wouldn't be testing you, right? We have escape, play, and balance with home here. So, and then abundance under that. So there is this push towards grounding, right? Making sure that your home is a loving, safe space, and also understanding there's something coming through about that person's home not being a safe space, or historically that person's home not being a safe space. And so when they're going out into the world, this is the behavior that makes sense for them because their home was not safe. Okay, we're going to do the archetypes deck. But you don't need to be concerned about that, right? Like, you've created a safe space, and you can continue to create a safe, abundant space at home. The Venom and the Creator, wow, that's crazy. So there are a few ways that this is coming through, and I want you to use your discernment here and consider all possibilities. One, based on how the reading is currently going, this would indicate a confirmation that, like, yes, this person is creating problems. This person is creating stops for you to trip up on. The other thing here is that you yourself may actually be creating that problem. You yourself may actually be creating that problem. By, and like the question is like, what within me is receptive to this, right? Like, why am I seeing this in my reality, right? The Self here is indicating that it is an extension of, or a creation of, the vow. Interesting. Hang on, let's see what else comes out. Hang on. So this is a really interesting message, actually. It kind of feels like you have the kind of visibility of this person's situation that you have because you've lived through it to some degree, and you also have a bigger viewpoint. You have a higher viewpoint. So the way that I just described all of that to you, you would probably be able to articulate that in your own way to someone else, right? Like, there's some kind of wisdom here that you have that they have not yet obtained. And I don't know what about your story makes that so, but it does strike up this feeling of, that threat, that I don't think it would take much for this person to feel threatened with all of this water energy. Like, it wouldn't take much, right? It's almost as if this person is looking for things to be threatened by, as to serve as a vessel for this form of aggression or like trickery, this need for control, right? So for you, you're kind of operating on this much more like chill, like it's like High Priestess energy, like this chill kind of operating space where you can see things much higher. So like the riddle in the comic here, it's easier for you to laugh at your mistakes, and it's also easier for you to make light of what that person has going on, or what that person is attempting to create in your life, because you've been there. The Bardo and Gnosis, like, you're like, yeah, like, it's okay. Like, I can identify that. I understand the truth of it already. I think that your understanding with the Venom and the Self and all of that information, like, you're not judging this person and you're not judging yourself if either of you are injecting this issue into the situation. Does that make sense? Like, there's no judgment on your end. It is what it is. And I think that might be the difference, and also why you're going to succeed.